In this video, I'm going to show you how I tricked 50,000 people by compositing 3D objects into my videos, sort of. Start off, drag a frame from the video into a program called Fspy. This would help you get the correct camera orientation in Blender. In Fspy, go from image midpoint to third vanishing point and turn off dim image. And then just line up the X, Y, and Z axis. Save the file, go over to Blender and import using the Fspy plugin. The next step would be to recreate the objects in the scene that will act as shadow catchers, like walls, bookshelves, and some of the boxes on the shelves. And when that is done, we add the objects we want to composite into the video. A lot of the models are gotten off of Sketchfab and Blender kits. So the next thing would be lights in the scene. Go to the render properties and change it to circles. You can either get an HDRI from Polyhaven, but make your own HDRI using the HDRI app on your phone. I would also add in lights that are present in the scene, like the LED lights. A tip I discovered that would help with reflections is to duplicate the wall and rename it to reflections. Add an image texture and use the image that we had exported. Select the image texture and Ctrl T. Plug window into vector and then change the principled BSDF to an emission shader. Go to the object properties and under visibility and ray visibility, turn off the camera, turn on shadow catcher for the other wall objects, and also add depth of field to match that of the reference image. To render, set the shelf object collection to hold out and also set the wall collection to hold out and render the image. When that is done and saved, go back to the viewport and clear holdouts from the wall and bookshelf collection. Select the bookshelf and set that as a shadow catcher. Set the 3D object collections you want to composite as indirect. Change the emission of the wall back to principled BSDF and hide the reflection object and render out the shadow pass. Compositing is done in After Effects, where I essentially rotoscope myself. Then I add the images, add an adjustment layer, and on the adjustment layer, add a bit of grain, blur, and color correction using Lumetri color. Compositing lights into a scene is a bit of a different workflow. I'm going to show you how I made it. So with the same scene we had, add your lamp object, and also in this case a spotlight. Increase the strength to 1000 watts and make it any color you'd like. Go to the view layer and under passes and lights, turn on the shadow catcher. In render view mode, toggle shading and switch from combined to shadow catcher so we can see the effect of the light. Render the image, and when this is done, go into compositing and turn on use nodes and backdraw. In the compositor, search for viewer node and plug the shadow catcher into the image. Search for the image node and select the reference image. Add a mix node and place it between the shadow catcher and the viewer node. Connect the image to the mix shader and change mix to multiply. To add the 3D object, search for the alpha over node and plug image from the render layer node to the bottom image and image from the multiply to the top. And then Ctrl Shift left click on the alpha over node. Click F11 or function F11 to go back to the render and search for viewer node and save the image. Back in After Effects, it's the same thing as last time. Add an adjustment layer, add grain, blur, and color correction. This was my first time doing this, so if you have any tips to help me improve, put them in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.